For our wild encounter story this month, I'm going to tell you a little story that recently happened to us here locally at our beach. The Tawny Frogmouth is this funny, odd-looking bird. It looks a little bit like an owl, but it's not. It's actually part of the nightjar family. It's fluffy, it's stocky, and it blends in. It is so extremely well camouflaged that it's extremely hard to find them. However, we just heard this little rustling noise and we look up, and sure enough, right above us in the fork of a tree was this big nest, and these tawnies were just sitting right there. The male, who usually sits on the nest during the daytime, with two little fluff balls and the cutest bright big yellow eyes staring right down at us. Knowing that they mate for life, they're extremely territorial, and often you will see the pair snuggling up to each other or grooming each other. We knew the female had to be somewhere nearby. It took us a good 5 to 10 minutes to find her, even though she was only a few meters away, because they have this cryptic, amazing feather camouflage. They blend in like you wouldn't believe. They literally tilt their head up and their beak up, and they usually find a little broken branch spot and they just hang on the edge of it, and it literally looks like they're part of the tree. So it took us a little while to find her. We did find her, and we were just absolutely excited to be there and see this little family on this tree in the middle of a car park. Now, many people actually believe they're part of the owl family, but they're not. Even though they have that convergent evolution, what they actually do is they have this big, wide, broad mouth, and they really specialize on hunting at nighttime. They're carnivorous. They feed on all the things we consider pests like spiders, moths, ants, scorpions, mainly insects, but they do kill the odd reptile, frog, and small mammal as well. The Tawny Frogmouth goes all the way from Tasmania up the whole east coast to Cooktown. They are differentiated by the owls through a couple of main things. The biggest one being the beak and how they hunt. So owls will use their talons and strong grasping feet and toes to catch their prey, and then they tear it apart, right? Whereas the tawny pounces from tree to tree and uses its mouth or its beak and hunts mainly with its beak. So it's got that wide, broad mouth to catch the insects rather than using its feet. The other thing, of course, is the eyes. So the tawnies tend to have their eyes a bit more on the side, whereas owls are straight out forward. And they also nest very differently. So when we found this nest, we were like, oh my God, if there's a bit of a breeze, that nest is just going to fall down. They are known, aside from pigeons, as the worst nest builders in Australia. They literally just collect a few little twigs and a few leaves, and they plonk their eggs on top of that. Whereas the owls will, of course, use hollows. Of course, we had to rush home and get our camera. We also had to get a ladder because even though they were on a very low branch, we wanted to see them eye to eye and be right across from them. They were not disturbed at all by the car noise, the people on the beach, a nearby playground. And we also had several people come up and tell us that they were surprised to see them there again, but that they apparently nest in the vicinity of that area every year. So we're of course hoping to be back next year and see them again. It was just one of the most amazing experiences on our local beach. And who would have known that we'd see one of the Aussie icons right there.